So the game I'm playing today is called Acrobots. This is a simple physics-based game, although it's not really a game, it is more of a toy, in which you mess around with these very tiny robots that just so happen to be acrobatic. Hence the name of the game, Acrobots. This game is pretty old. It originally came out in 2007, and I think it was originally released as a Flash game that you could play in your browser. It's another free game developed by Vectorpark, and I have covered some of Vectorpark's games on my channel before, you likely already know. I've already done videos on some of Vectorpark's commercial releases, like Windowsill and Metamorphobet, and I also played Feed the Head as well, which was also released for free, much like Acrobats. All three of those games I enjoyed quite a bit, and I would argue that those three games in particular are probably Vectorpark's most well-known games. But, as I also mentioned in either my Metamorphobet video or my Feed the Head video, I don't really remember, Vectorpark released a whole bunch of other free Flash-based games a really long time ago, and when I say a really long time ago, I mean both before and after they became really well known for games like Windowsill and Metamorphobet, and I did mention that I would likely try to do videos on those games as well, or at the very least the ones that personally interested me. And there is one game in particular that I found on their itch.io page that I would actually like to show you guys, because I do think it is pretty neat. Another reason why I wanted to do a video on this game today is because you probably already know that the previous video that I put up on the channel before this was my full Let's Play of Deltarune Chapter 2, which ended up being over 7 hours long. Yeah, remember when the Henry Stickmin collection was the longest video I ever uploaded to the channel? Well, it's not anymore. Also, remember when I said on Twitter that I was never going to make a video like that ever again? Yeah, well, it turns out that I am exceptionally bad at taking my own advice. But yeah, I wanted to just play something really nice and small today, just because I'm still kind of recovering from the last video that I did, the freaking Deltarune Chapter 2 video. Yeah, I just need to upload, I just need to play something nice and tiny and self-contained, and also something that I could probably record within like just 15 or 20 minutes, because holy crap, dude. I really am never going to do a video like that ever again, because, my god, or at least not for a little while. Because trying to record that entire freaking game, it really, like, sapped a lot of energy out of me. I mean, I still enjoyed playing Deltarune Chapter 2, don't get me wrong, but it ended up being a much longer chapter than I had initially thought it would be, and I wanted to try and play the entire game in just one sitting, and the video ended up being literally the longest I've ever uploaded to the channel, again. So I'm gonna show you guys a very small and very simple game today instead. This is normally the kind of game that I would have just featured in either my double feature series or even my randomizer series, because I still plan on bringing that back eventually, but I'm just gonna do a separate video on it because I really don't feel like making a multi-hour long video for probably the next few months at least. Although it's very likely that I will end up unintentionally doing that again, especially since there is actually one particular video I want to try and record soon that will likely end up being another multi-hour long video, but I'll talk about that some other time. You guys will probably see that video sometime in October, perhaps. That video is only in the planning stages right now, and I haven't actually recorded any part of it yet. Speaking of which, I do have some spooky games in mind that I want to try and record for Halloween this year, for the month of October, and you guys will likely be seeing most of those videos in the month of October, but for now, Acrobots. Right, so this is Acrobots, so this is the entire screen right here. You're basically playing inside of a TV. So you have 4 different buttons here. Well, actually, well, yeah, you have 4 buttons and you also have a slider. So this light bulb right here, you can toggle the lights on and off. Now, normally, the Acrobats are colored in this game. If you toggle the lights off, then they'll just appear like a dark shade of blue. But if you want to actually see their colors, it's probably best to just leave the light on. So, you can also rotate the TV as well. I'm just calling it a TV because that's what it looks like, but you can, like, rotate the playing field by pressing this, the button all the way down below, which kind of looks like, yeah, basically like a turn button. The one with the arrow on it that's turning in a counterclockwise direction. Or actually, no, that's clockwise. What am I saying? Right, so how exactly do you add an acrobat into this little square here? Well, you see this plus sign right here? Just click on it, and there you go. You suddenly have a little acrobat that's just kind of bouncing up and down. Oh wow, he's actually getting some height here as well, look at that. Yeah, so this game is completely physics-based, and as you can see, the acrobat's legs kind of just, bend around. Yeah, they bend back and forth whenever they collide with any sort of object, and their legs also seem to be, like, very stretchy as well. So you can also left-click on them and drag them in order to place them anywhere on the screen. And normally the acrobats will usually just move around on their own, but if you want them to calm the frick down a little bit, that's actually what this slider is for. So if you want them to just stay still, you can adjust this slider right here, you can move it all the way up, and they will not actually move. And then if you want them to become active again, you just move the slider all the way down, and as you can see, they start bouncing again. So what is actually the point of this game, you're probably wondering? Well, to be honest, there really is no point. Vectorpark themselves described this game as being more of a physics toy than anything else. And the game really is just that. It's a toy. It's really not even a game, honestly. So, something else you can also do as well is that it almost kind of seems like these little acrobat guys have, like, suction cups for feet. And you'll notice that you can actually stick their feet onto the side of the square as well. Yeah, as you can see, they'll just stick to it automatically, kind of like that. Actually, wait a second. I'm kind of wondering, can I put the slider all the way up and will they just, like, stick to the top? Oh, I guess they don't, because they're still kind of affected by gravity. Yeah, you can just kind of bend them and contort them as well. Oh my god, they're going freaking flying. Okay, he just literally bounced off the wall. You can make him wall jump, apparently. Look at this. That looks kind of cool. I think this also kind of functions as a gravity slider as well, because I think the gravity... I don't know, is the gravity a lot stronger when it's... when I bring the slider down? Like, what if I bring the slider up? Oh yeah, he definitely falls a lot quicker. Yeah, so this does kind of function as a gravity slider as well. But also, when you have the slider all the way down, the acrobats do tend to bounce around a lot more, I noticed. So they become, like, a lot more active. And you can add more than one acrobat into the square right here. I can click on the plus sign again, and all of a sudden we have a red acrobat. Now, the interesting thing that you can do here is that you can actually pair up the acrobats. So you'll notice right here that if they're close enough, they will actually join their legs together here, as you can see. There we go. You can, like, connect the acrobats to each other. There we go. Kind of like giving each other a high five with their feet. I don't know. I mean, these do definitely function more like legs. They don't really have arms, per se. If you want, you can also, like, throw them into each other, and then they start bouncing around even more. Yeah, kind of like this. Look at this, for goodness sakes. Just kind of balancing on each other. Now, that being said, if you want to actually try and make them balance on each other, and actually make them, like, stay there, like, make them maintain their position, that's also what this slider is useful for. So if you just bring the slider all the way up, as you can see, they maintain that position. So there we go. They're just giving each other a firm handshake, it seems. And then if I bring the slider down, yeah, they kind of start falling apart, it seems. It almost looks like they start melting a little bit. Yeah, I actually can join them together, kind of like this. And then if I want them to separate, bring the slider down. Want them to rejoin, bring the slider back up. So you can balance a whole variety of acrobats on top of each other. You can actually add quite a bit. I think there's like 8 different colors of acrobats that you can add into the game. If you want them to, yeah, kind of form like a star shape. It's kind of like a star shape. There we go. Use your leg for support. Because, I mean, this is still physics-based at the end of the day. There is still, like an element of gravity here. Oh, God. There you go. It's almost like a trapeze act. They're joining together to make all sorts of insane-looking shapes. And, might as well put the other colors of acrobats in here, too. Actually, I'm gonna bring you up here. Oh, there we go. What even is this? We form a triangle? Oh my god. We're making, like, a pyramid. What is going on right here? Wait, this guy has his arm out? There we go. God, what even is this? There's one more color that we can add here, actually. Yeah, here we go. Oh god, we're gonna upset the balance. Or are we? Are we? Okay, no, he's like falling very slowly, but even so. Yeah. And you can actually add more than 8 Acrobats onto the screen, but if you add more than 8, then the colors will just start repeating. Like, if I add a 9th one, the 9th one is actually just blue. But even so, you want to create even more insane shapes here? Oh. Okay. This guy's actually just falling through the other Acrobats. I guess because there's no, yeah, I guess because all the other arms are used up, so there's no one he can actually attach himself to, which I guess makes sense, yeah. Nobody else he can lock arms with. Or I guess in this case, legs, or feet. Yeah, they all have, like, suction cups for feet, which I guess is what helps them maintain their balance here. So yeah, you can see how exactly this game is meant to be played. It really is more of a toy than a game, quite frankly. But I definitely see, like, you know, you definitely be able to get at least maybe upwards of 10 minutes of enjoyment out of this. But yeah, you can definitely tell, like, the purpose of this game. It's still kind of neat, though. I mean, look at this, man. Creating all sorts of these crazy shapes. Yeah, it's a trapeze act. It's a trapeze act featuring Acrobats. There we go. Robots with suction cups on their feet. It's pretty cool. I do kind of wish the playing field was a little bit larger, but for a game that originally came out in 2007, I can understand, you know, Flash definitely had a lot more limitations back then. It still looks kind of cool to mess around with all these Acrobats and just attach them to each other. Yeah, see, I guess if, yeah, there's no one available to lock arms with, and they just fall through everyone. Yeah, I guess the brown guy's arm down here would not be available because one of his legs is actually like attached to the wall. Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of cool. I mean, the only real way that this is even possible is when you have the slider all the way up so that there's barely any gravity. Because watch what happens when I bring it all the way down. As you can see, it just, yeah, they collapse. The tower collapses. But then you have this funny little sequence right here where suddenly, yeah, they're just getting really excited. They're going absolutely buck wild. They're just like, oh my god, dude. They're just jumping off of each other, using each other as platforms. Yeah, kind of like locking suction cups together. That's a weird sentence, but or is it a weird sentence? Maybe I just have a dirty mind. I don't even know. But yeah, if you really want to just watch the Acrobats do their own thing, and kind of just, like, interact with other Acrobats, then yeah, you can add a whole variety of them into the little square right here, this little box, I guess, and you can just watch them fly around. Basically watching them have fun with each other. They're essentially fighting with one another. So, this is what it looks like when you have the lights turned off, and as you can see, they just appear as silhouettes. It does kind of remind me of, Windowsill's palette colors. Because, I mean, Windowsill definitely uses... Actually, no, it reminds me a lot more of Feed the Head's palette color, actually. Like, a lot of the colors that's used in Feed the Head in particular. You know, a lot of, like, blues and light blues, almost like the cyan color right here. Yeah, it's definitely reminiscent of a lot of the kinds of colors that Feed the Head uses. And this did actually come out the same year as Feed the Head. This also came out in 2007. And then, of course, if you want to remove the Acrobats, that's what the minus sign is for. If you just want to remove all of them from the screen. I'm kind of wondering, though, I am genuinely curious, how many Acrobats can I actually add into this box before, like, the game breaks? I'm very curious. The CPU usage is going kind of insane, which I wholeheartedly expected it to. I just like to see how many you can add here. Oh god. That's a lot of Acrobats, man. Is there, like, no limit as to how many I can add here? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, what does this look like with the silhouettes enabled? It just looks like... Oh my god. Just looks like... I don't even know what this looks like, honestly. A bunch of tentacles. A tentacle monstrosity. And I don't quite enjoy how it looks, because the game is... Yeah, the game's getting way too laggy, but I guess there really is, like, no limit as to how many Acrobats you can add into this little box here, I guess. The only real limit to them is how many colors they come in, and they only come in 8 colors, which is a little disappointing, but... Even so, yeah, these are the 8 separate colors that you have right here. There we go, silhouettes, so you just have no colors. Yeah, we can also rotate the box, and this is what ends up happening, so you can just have them all, like, tumble. I guess if you rotate this fast enough, they do kind of just float in the air, I guess. And then if I want them to balance on top of each other again, yeah, here we go, look at that. They'll kind of just do it on their own, actually. Yeah, I don't really need their input, honestly. Oh, this guy's not attached to anything. Hang on a second. You balance on top of him. Unless you're gonna, like, fall over, but that's totally fine, because I think you could just... Could you attach yourself? Oh no, you probably couldn't attach yourself to these guys down here. No, because you have no space available. Honestly, what more is there to say about this game? I mean, that's literally it, guys. That's Acrobats. There's, I don't think there's any, like, hidden Easter eggs or secrets that you could possibly find in this game. I mean, I could try pressing some of the other keys on my keyboard here, but I don't think it's gonna activate anything. Yeah, it doesn't really seem like any of the other keys do anything, so... Yeah, that's literally it. So I think with that being said, I may actually just end the video off right now. Because I did say that I want... Oh my god, that guy got a lot of airtime right there. Yeah, I did say that I wanted to make a really short video, and honestly, guys, I really wasn't kidding when I said that. I really don't feel like I need to pad this video out any further. That's everything I wanted to talk about regarding Acrobats. So it's a really neat little physics-based digital toy, because that's essentially what it is. And once again, I've covered games like this before that function more like toys than games. Again, this is definitely not outside of my wheelhouse. I have covered quite a few games like this in the past. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys something kind of neat, and also I really wanted to try and make a shorter video today, just to make up for the fact that I uploaded another, like, multi-hour long video recently, and it ended up being like 7 hours long. I mean, I both apologize and don't apologize for that. Well, I mean, to be real with you for a second, I really don't apologize for it, because I mean, I love Deltarune, man, okay? I really just wanted to see if I could try and play through that entire chapter in just one sitting, like I did with the first chapter, and I am probably gonna do the same thing with future chapters of Deltarune going forward. Like, to be honest, I'm not truly upset at the fact that I've been uploading so many, like, really long videos as of late. It's just that I don't want them to become the norm for the channel. It's one of those things where, you know, every once in a while I could upload, like, an extremely long marathon-like video. But at the same time, I do want to try and put more of an effort into making shorter videos, just so that I'd be able to get content out a lot quicker, for one thing, because it wouldn't take as long to record. But also, I do feel like my shorter videos tend to be the ones that are a lot more watchable, because, you know, it's one of those things where you can just watch the entire video in one sitting. You can't really watch a 7-hour video in one sitting. Well, I mean, I guess you could, but I don't recommend it. I didn't recommend it either when I uploaded the Henry Stickmin collection. That's why I added timestamps to that video. And to be honest, I'm probably gonna go back and update the description for Deltarune Chapter 2 with some timestamps just to make that video a lot easier to navigate. I probably will. I'm gonna try and think of some timestamps that I could potentially add to the description of that video. I don't know when exactly I'm gonna do that, though, but I'll do it eventually. But aside from all that, I still hope you guys enjoyed that video regardless, because I still enjoyed playing the second chapter of Deltarune. I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy the time I spent with it. It's just that I don't want freaking 7-hour long videos to become the norm on my channel. That's all I'm trying to say. It's fine if I do those kinds of videos every once in a while, but I just don't want them to become like the standard for my channel. I don't want them to become like the only kinds of videos that I upload to the channel. I do want to cover, like, smaller games as well. Kind of like Acrobats, for instance, so... Yeah, I've been trying to put a bigger effort into doing that. Well, I mean, this is something that I always used to do, like a long time ago on my channel, but it was something that I kind of stopped doing after a while. But I want to try and get back into making shorter videos, because there was a time when a lot of my videos used to be only like 10 or 15 minutes long, like a lot of my one-shot videos in particular, and those videos tended to be one-shots of games that were actually a lot more substantial than Acrobats. They were definitely like much bigger games, but I only spent like at most a half hour with those games because I didn't want to waste your guys' time, you know what I mean? I think the problem is that as time went on, I kind of developed a bad habit of over-explaining everything, which resulted in the pacing of these videos becoming a lot slower, and I really need to try and stop doing that. The only reason I even do it to begin with is because I just feel like if I don't explain certain features or mechanics in a game, that you guys are just gonna get, like, really confused. But I'm trying to figure something out in that regard, because I kind of feel like what I'm doing right now is not really working. So I'm still gonna try and find a way to make the pacing of these videos a lot better, and I guess a lot more consistent as well. I think for starters, I could try to realize that I don't actually need to explain certain mechanics in a game before I even get started playing the game, because there's a lot of videos that I uploaded in 2019 and 2020, and even some videos I uploaded this year that definitely have that issue. Instead of explaining the mechanics before I even play the game, explain them while I'm playing the game. That would honestly be a lot better. But anyway, this is where I am going to end the video for real now. I hope you guys enjoyed this this brief video covering Acrobats. There will probably be some other Vectorpark games that I cover in the future, maybe in a double feature video. There's still a couple of other games from them that I would maybe like to do a video on in the future, but that's gonna do it for this video for now. So if you want to download Acrobats, the link is in the description. It's a completely free game. I don't think it's possible to play it within your browser anymore because it was originally a Flash game, and Flash is dead. At least it's dead now. It was brutally murdered by Adobe at the end of last year. But thankfully, you can still download a desktop version of the game from itch.io and just play it on your desktop. So there you go. And just to remember again that this game is completely free, but also it is itch.io, so if you want to pay money for it anyway, you can. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video I make. Later!